I'm sick of Obama's wife. Yeah. This isn't some Republican rant either. It's just kind of first ladies in general. You know, I don't know what it is. All throughout my life, with each presidency, like these first ladies, they've just gotten more and more like chatty. You know? More and more chiming in, like leaning into the frame, spitting out their ideas. It's just like, well, why are you talking? Right? You weren't elected. Shut up. Your husband's not running a lemonade stand here. He's running the country. You don't just chime in. Let me guess, is this considered sexist? It is? Why? Oh, okay, you just nodded there, lady. Let me ask you this, all right? Let's say you had a leak in your house, okay? You call a plumber up. He shows up, and he goes, yeah, I think the leak's coming from the upstairs bathroom. We need to shut it up, blah, blah. Then all of a sudden his wife walks in, who isn't a plumber. And then goes, hey, you know, I actually think it's kind of pretty okay. Wouldn't you be like, with all due respect, shut the up. I need a plumber in this moment. I'll extend an olive branch here. All right, at some point, there's going to be the first female president, right? Exactly. Which means at that moment, you're going to have the first male first lady, right? And when that happens, that dude needs to shut his trap. I don't want to hear a word out of him. I want to hear from the president. You, sir, go do some first lady stuff, all right? Go get yourself some gloves that go up to your elbows. Smile and nod during speeches. Go put your own flair redecorating the White House, right? Which leads you to Michelle Obama, right? Now she's sitting there holding up those hashtags. Remember that hashtag, bring back our girls? Remember that? It's like, it blew my mind. It's like, why are you showing me that? I'm a stand-up comedian. Like, what am I going to do to get those girls back? Why don't you look across the dinner table? It's like, you see that guy? That is the leader of the free world. Tell him to pick up a phone, call some Navy SEALs and solve it. What am I going to do? Show up with a sharpened mic stand? Hey, Michelle said to bring him back. Oh, it's unreal. I'll tell you what kills me. Hillary Clinton might run. She might run. That blows my mind. I mean, honestly, she became a senator. She went from being the president's wife to being a senator. Just like that. Lateral move. That's like Tom Brady's wife becoming the next quarterback of the Rams. It's like, what, you hanging out? You just pick it up? I sucked at sports, and then I banged Tom Brady, and I don't know what happened. I just picked up a ball. I started lacing it. I'm leading receivers. It was incredible. I knew it was going to be like this. You know what's funny? There's actually people out there that think a woman being president is actually a good idea. You know? Can you believe that? See that they do? That'll do something. That'll change things. How? How the is that going to change anything? Do you know what the president makes a year? The president makes $400 grand a year. That's it. He's trying to keep billionaires in line, making $400 grand a year. That's all he makes. He makes less than some people blogging on the internet. The president should have you money, right? He shouldn't be sitting there with his pockets turned inside. I need your help to get me the job, right? What do you guys all donate to the campaign? Is that what it is? Let's talk white women here, shall we? Let's talk white women. White women, amazing your accomplishments over the last few years. I got to tell you, the way white women somehow hijacked the woke movement, generals around the world should be analyzing this. Just to refresh your memory, the woke movement was supposed to be about people of color not getting opportunities, the at-bats that they deserved, finally making that happen. And it was about that for about 8 seconds. And then somehow, white women swung their Gucci-booted feet over the fence of oppression and stuck themselves at the front of the line. I don't know how they did it.
I've never heard so much complaining in my life from white women. My life is so hard with my SUV and my heated seats. You have no idea what it's like to be me. Trashing white guys. The nerve. Where's the camera? The nerve of you white women. Listen, I don't want to speak ill of my bitches here, okay? I don't. But let's go back in history here, okay? You guys stood by us toxic white males through centuries of our crimes against humanity. You rolled around in the blood money, and occasionally when you wanted to sneak off and hook up with a black dude, if you got caught, you said it wasn't consensual. Yeah, that's what you did. That's what you did. So why don't you shut up, sit down next to me, and take your talking to. Thank you. So, I don't know what it is. I don't know what the fuck is going on. But I think white women started it. It's the worst. The fucking worst. It's all they do is bitch, moan, and complain. I had no idea how difficult it was to be a white woman in the United States of America. Evidently, it's really difficult. Yeah, they're always bitching. Do you have any idea what it's like to be me? Well, I imagine it would be slightly less awesome than my life. What happened to you today, sweetheart, huh? Did they not chill your rosé? You know? Was the trolley not running down at the mall? What happened? No, it's unreal. I'm really fucking annoyed how white women have the fucking balls to throw my white privilege in my face. You know? Sort of separate themselves from these white males with their white male privilege. It's like, bitch, you're sitting in the jacuzzi with me. The fuck are you talking about? Yeah, quit your fucking whining. Look, right out of the gate, all right? If you live in some honey boo-boo lifestyle on the Appalachian Trail, you know, your uncle just banged you in the dirt, all right, I can listen to you. No, one of my fantasies is I want to drive by like a woman's rally and just say the most sexist shit I can think of, just to watch them lose their minds. You know, just drive by real slow and be like, yeah, why don't you get back in the kitchen where you belong? Just to look in their rearview mirror, watching them flipping out on the road, spinning around like Leatherface at the end of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, like... Yeah, no, it's a very, I don't know. Times are changing, I guess. I don't know. Yeah. Michelle Obama's doing an arena tour. That's another thing going on. I'm going to say that again. Michelle Obama is doing an arena tour. She's not playing comedy clubs. She's doing arenas. When did first ladies start acting like they got elected? You know? Dude, being a first lady, that's not a fucking job. Right? Look how quiet is it in here. Why is it so fucking quiet? You think that's a job? It's not a fucking job. Dude, if you really think it's a job, just look at her. Right? Look at Obama. When that guy got elected, he looked like he was about 41 years old. When he left office, that guy looked like he was about 73. Right? Look at Michelle. She looks younger now than she did when that dude got elected. What has she done for the last 8 years? Yeah, other than lay in a giant vat of Illuminati-level lotion, just sitting there floating. A couple hours, a shapeshifter comes in and dumps another bucket on her. She pops her head up. Hey, Bam Bam, tell Stevie Wonder to come down and play some songs tonight. Now, I found out she's doing a tour because she's doing a book tour. Yeah, she wrote a book. She wrote a book about not having a job. I gotta read that fucking book. Chapter 1, how to know if a dick tastes presidential. eat your way through all that local representative cock and get to the big swinging dick in the room. I'll tell you right now, say what you want about Republican presidents, but they got their first ladies in line. They do. Dude, George W. was president for 8 years. 8 years. I don't even know his wife's name. What was it, Abigail or some shit? Maggie? No clue. Donald Trump's wife stands behind him like a giant meerkat, like... Bill Clinton was president, his wife never shut up. I want to do healthcare. He fucked around on her so much, he's like, all right, whatever, just do it. But I'm telling you right now, I'm gonna check out that fucking tour. I gotta see what that's all about. You know? Who opens? Who opens on that fucking tour? Was it Oprah Winfrey's husband? You know? Does he fucking come out and talk about what it's like to walk her dogs? Dude, narcissist, and I gotta bring him around. Look, I'm sure that there's some feminists in the crowd right now not appreciating this joke, feeling triggered, feeling like they need to fucking put out a hashtag or some shit and be brave and speak out. You know what? You're full of shit. You are. All those feminists are full of shit. Because I'm going to tell you right now, someday, there's going to be the first woman president. All right? Which means you don't even know what her fucking platform is, and you automatically cheer. It's got the same genitalia. Fucking. I'm telling you, they're not smart people. Feminists, they're not as smart as they're coming off. I'm telling you. Someday, there's gonna be... By the way, this is gonna be my last show ever, by the time this fucking thing comes out. Someday, there's gonna be the first female president, which means there's gonna be the first male first lady. Right? And you wait. You fucking wait. The first time that dude opens, he's feminist. They're on me. You shut the fuck up. You shut the fuck up. It is her time now. It is her time. She was elected, not you. Go pick out some plates, bitch. You are the first lady. He's gonna get treated like Tom Arnold when he was with Roseanne. Secret Service name will be like Appendix or Doesn't Matter. Not worthy of protecting. Just entered the Oval Office. Not worthy of protecting. So evidently what happened was, in World War II, old Adolf came rolling into town, okay, with his tanks with the Porsche engines in them, took over the town in like fucking 90 minutes. She freaked out. She closes up her shop, right? Figured out where all the head Nazis were staying, what hotel. She moved in there, and she started a relationship with one of the Nazis. Yeah. She started fucking a Nazi. You ever see those Holocaust videos? Huh, with those piles of kid shoes? Yeah. She was sucking the dick that did that. Now, just to refresh my memory, what did Sean Connery do again? Oh, you know, every once in a while you give him a little slap. That's what he did. She's sitting there like, hey, Adolf, what's going on? She so sold out her own country, she had to flee it at the end of the war. And I have no idea how many dicks she had to suck to get back in it. But I'll tell you, despite all of that, I still don't judge her. I don't. Because I've never been in that situation. You know, I've never been in a country where all of a sudden the most powerful army the world has ever seen comes in and takes it over in a couple hours. She must have been terrified, right? And she's a woman. You know, she's into fashion. They show up with those Hugo Boss uniforms. You know, her knees buckle a little bit. Things start getting ugly. People are getting shot in the street. She's freaking out. You know. And she's a woman. And women know
push comes to shove, when you get your back against the wall, no matter how bad it gets, they always have the option of fucking their way out of a situation. They always got that card they can play, right? All women know this. All women know this. Men don't realize this till they go to prison. But women learn this early on. She had the option, and she took it. I can't get mad at her for that, you know? So she's dead and gone. I think she's up there in heaven. I think she made it. She's up there with Sean Connery. Every once in a while, they have a disagreement. He gets a little slap, you know? She doesn't care. Once you shit on a Nazi's chest, I mean, a little backhand's not going to freak you out. Jesus can't say anything. He got a hooker, right? Everybody's got a little something they did. Yeah, there you go. So, still buy your Coco Chanel. She's still a hero. She was a victim. She was a victim of that time. She was frightened. She was scared. She didn't know what to do. Anyway. So, we're living in a fucking weird time. Obviously, beyond all the bullshit that's going on now, like, every time I think feminism has kind of, like, died off, you know? You know, like a band you can't stand, and you just, they haven't put out an album in a few years. You're like, oh, good. Did they quit? Did they break up? And all of a sudden, they come out with some more shit. You're like, ah, fuck, what is it now? I'm just fucking with you. Feminism doesn't bug me, you know? It doesn't bother me. I'm not afraid of it or anything like that. You know, for the simple fact that I know it's going to fail, you know? And I take comfort in that. I do. I'm not rooting for it because I know it doesn't like me. Yeah. Do you know why I think it's not going to survive? Why it's not going to be successful anyways? Because they still need men's help to make it happen. I don't understand it. I don't understand why women just can't work with each other and make this shit happen. They keep coming to us like, you more men need to care about this issue. Where are the men to stand up and say something? Like, why do I have to fucking say something? This is your fucking problem. Why are you always dragging us into this shit? I saw a woman a couple months back, professional soccer player, right? She goes on to ESPN or one of these sports channels, and she starts bitching, going like, I don't understand. How come female athletes don't make as much as male professional athletes? Right? And all of these men had to sit there and act like they didn't know what the answer was. They had to sit there like dumbfounded, like, oh, I don't know. Why is that? That is a conundrum. I have no idea. Literally, I'm sitting at home screaming at the TV because you don't sell any fucking tickets. Nobody is going to women's soccer games. You're playing in a 20,000 seat arena. 1,500 people show up. That's not a good night. The promoter lost his fucking ass on that gig. I'm not saying no professional female athletes, Serena Williams, the women in the UFC, you know, but nobody's watching your fucking sport. And then you're going to come and you're going to get mad at fucking men. They keep doing that shit. Why are you yelling at us? It's not our fucking job. It's not my fucking job to give a fuck about women's soccer, okay? I have men's sport to pay attention to. It's your bullshit, right? Dude, look at the WNBA. Dude, nobody in the WNBA got COVID. Nobody. They have been playing in front of 300 to 400 people a night for a quarter of a century. Not to mention, it's a male-subsidized league. We gave you a fucking league. None of you showed up. Where are all the feminists? That place should be packed with feminists. Faces painted, wearing jerseys, flashing their titties. Going fucking nuts like the guys do. In the upper deck with their big beer titties. Am I on the Jumbotron? Am I doing it? Yeah. You didn't. None of you went to the fucking games. None of you. You failed them. Not me. Not men. Women failed the WNBA. Ladies, name your top 5 all-time WNBA players of all time. Come on. That's it. Name 5 WNBA teams. Name the WNBA team in your fucking city. You can't do it. You don't give a fuck about them. They play night in and night out in front of nobody. It's a fucking tragedy. Right? And then meanwhile, you look at the Kardashians, they're making billions. You look at those Real Housewives shows, they're making money hand over fist, because that's what women are watching. And the money listens. You don't want to watch this shit, you watch this shit. They just shoot it over there, drowning these whores in money. In purses, and shoes, and Botox. It's just raining. It's raining money. Yeah, so the money listens. You'd rather watch that shit. Real Housewives, bunch of women just tearing each other down. Well, maybe that's why your husband left you. Maybe that's why your husband left. That's why you can't have kids, bitch. That's why your ass is as flat as your titties, bitch, right? That's the message you sent. We would rather watch that than see a bunch of women come together as a team and try to achieve a common goal. We would rather watch them actually fucking destroy each other. Yeah. No. And then in the end, you come back and you fucking yell at guys. And it's like, all right, so let me get this straight. I have to buy you a drink, stop the axe murderer from coming through the fucking window, and I have to watch WNBA games for you? Like, when are you going to pick up your end of the couch? Yeah. I don't have any sympathy for women when it comes to shit like that, because every study they've ever done to determine who's smarter, men or women, every study comes back and says women are smarter. Every fucking one. Ladies, you shouldn't be applauding that. You know I'm an asshole. You know this isn't going to end well. Did he say I'm pretty? Ah, oh my God. Get out of the relationship. If every study says that you're smarter, okay, the question you should be asking yourself was, we're so goddamn smart, how are we in the situation we're in? Well, you're in the situation you're in not because of guys like me, as much as you want to blame me. Ladies, you can't tell me you never drove by a sports bar on a football Sunday and looked at the humanity in there? All those dumb guys with their big beer bellies bumping shit. Hey, he's on my fantasy team! Up top, yeah! You want to get some more mozzarella sticks? Yeah. As a woman with your bigger brain, you never looked in there and thought to yourself, I'm fucking losing to that? I'm losing to that.
When did you start shaving your head? It looks good.
When did I start shaving? Well, I shaved it. I had my first special. I had it shaved.
Really? I didn't.
Yeah.
When I saw you in New York
I'm
for the
glad
Patrice thing.
you liked it.
I
see you
like
losing the
it.
roof there in the back.
Yeah,
You'll be
a
right there
little
with
bit.
me.
I'll be there
We'll
soon.
do a buddy cop show.
Exactly.
Right? Two balding old guys
Exactly.
going after some hairy criminal.
I'm not a big fan of Steve Jobs, personally.
What are you talking about?
I don't know. I just don't understand what the big deal was with that guy. I don't get it.
He's like Edison. I don't know. He invented all this stuff to everybody. What are you talking about?
Did he? Did he sit down and I'm going to invent the iPhone and just sat there soldering, possibly welding, right? Didn't he have a crew of guys helping him out?
Sure, maybe he did.
So why, when he went to those nerd fests, didn't he have like a chorus of scientists behind him who helped him out too? He walked out like he was Tesla. Tapping into electricity.
I'm not with you.
I think he just kind of told people what to invent. He just kind of came in I want my whole music collection in that phone. Get on it! And then all these nameless, faceless guys made it happen.
Yeah?
And then they have the big nerd concert, and he goes out there by himself. No belt, sneakers on. I just didn't buy it.
When you took it out on Philly, because they were a bad crowd.
Oh, yeah.
Your famous rant,
Yep.
which you've since said you like Philadelphia, and that wasn't the issue. You were just giving...
People in Philly don't even remember. Basically, if you haven't seen it, I was doing a show for the Opie and Anthony radio program, and they had this show called The Traveling Virus,
and we were doing these like 10,000 seaters, and we went to Philly, and they're notorious for booing people, and they booed the first guy off stage, and I went on like 3 hours after that. So by the time I got up there, it was a complete shit show. And I don't know, they started booing, and I snapped and decided I wasn't going to leave, and I just attacked everything that they loved.
Can women be funny?
Yeah, of course. Will you guys just fucking grow up and just sit down and write your own horse shit and come up with it? Start your own fucking show. Have your own award show. Quit waiting around for other people to do shit for you. That's the fucking problem. If you guys had your own big club and I was standing outside of it, you'd never fucking let me in. I'd start my own shit. You guys got to start your own shit. You got brains in there, right?
Yes, absolutely.
So write your own shit and quit your fucking whining. We're all eating a giant shit sandwich out here. Nobody cares. I don't care. Well, when was the last time you went on stage and you killed so hard the person after you bombed? If you're fucking doing that on a regular basis, people are going to notice regardless of what you have between your legs.
Yeah, at some point I was going to make a point here. That's why I keep looking at here, and I just realized I'm blocking myself out of the camera. I love that you have the jib camera for this, like it's an action movie. Let's swoop in at these two guys sitting in these unbelievably small chairs. I literally feel like I'm going to fall onto the floor. This is insane. You really went all out with the audience, though. They got full-size adult chairs. Are these like from the 20s before they had like horse tranquilizers in our food? When everybody was like 5'1"?
Yeah,
And nothing's making you mad? Nothing.
Oh, things upset me. Yes. I don't know. I don't want to... Look, I fly a lot, and there's this whole new thing of generation of people that take their socks and their shoes off on the plane. You got to look at their smelly feet, and then they'll literally stand up and they will walk into a commercial airline bathroom. Yeah, use it and then walk and sit back down again.
That's not right.
Yeah, if I was a dictator, those people would be eliminated.
I love this dude texting for the entire interview. It's just trying to keep the attentions on millennials. It's like impossible. Look at him. He's already got the chains. He's probably got his own record label. He's like making deals as we speak. He's got championship rings on. I don't know what you're doing, dude, but I want your life, man. You're crushing it.
So are you in the process?
I cannot get comfortable in this fucking chair. This is just like one of the worst things. This should be like in a museum, is like the prototype. This is what... This was the awful level of comfort. We went from a log to this, and then eventually they got cushions. It's another guy looking at his phone. I swear to God. Dude, the day Jesus comes back, if he ever does, if he's even a real person, like 90% of people are going to miss it. They're going to walk right. He's going to be walking on water, and they're immediately walking by him. They're not even going to see it. Oh, yeah, and there's a drop-off in fame for Jesus at that point. Everyone was paying attention. Now no one gives a shit. Oh, there we go. No, but now this is like the ego one. Now I'm going to be sitting above you.
Yeah,
you got to come with two. It's fine. It's fine. Sir, the one comedy through line that's working here is me shitting on this chair. Why would you take that from me? You're just totally going against the grain. I understand it. But you got on camera, so I think you get paid, even though this is online.
You see, Sugar Shea Mosley, one of the greatest boxers of all time, he's losing his championship belt in a divorce. Losing, yeah. It's like you're trying to break a man. Why does she want those? Right?
Break a man.
They go with their shoes. You know? No, and I love how when you get a divorce, all of a sudden it costs like 50 grand a month to give a kid Fruit Loops. Right? Besides, I'm telling you, there is an epidemic of gold-digging whores in this country, and it is just not being addressed. We recently got a pit bull, which I know a lot of people don't like because they ate a couple of kids. I understand. They're great dogs, unless you're a bad owner. If you're a psycho, which I am, you can mess them up. I didn't realize that dogs feed off your vibes. No. Like if you're cool, if you're chill, they're chilling. If you're sleeping, they're sleeping. But if you're a psycho like me and you're watching the game on TV and you're screaming at the ref like, you gotta be shitting me! I didn't realize the dog was in the corner being like, yeah, you gotta be shitting me.
Being a mother is the hardest job out there.
Most difficult job, and Oprah said that.
Oprah said that, yeah. Has your opinion on that phrase changed at all since you've had a kid?
No. It's not the most difficult job on the planet. It just isn't. Dude, I did roofing in July. As a redhead, I almost died. There's people that work on like oil. What was that movie that guy made? The fucking, they drill oil. What is it?
There Will Be Blood?
There Will Be Blood. Out in the ocean, they would drill. I can never remember the names.
Deepwater.
Mark Wahlberg was
Deepwater Horizon. Yeah.
Those guys were working on an oil rig. The fucking thing blows up. They're on fire. They got to jump into water that's on fire. Salty water into their wounds. You got to swim out of that oil and fire and then tread water, praying to God that the Coast Guard is going to get there before the sharks do. Now talk to me about a toddler. Oh, he was so fussy today. He wouldn't eat his peas.
So what's up with all these white kids now walking around trying to act like they're like gangster rappers? It's irritating. It's like everywhere I go, man. I figure just be here in the city where you got a good mix of people. I'll be like in the middle of Kansas, though. Like the whitest state ever. There'll be some howdy-doody looking white kid like me. I'm thinking this is one of my peeps. Somebody I can have a conversation with. All of a sudden she's like, yo, what's up, kid? What's up, kid? I just want to be like, nothing much, Brad. You keeping it real in Wichita? How the fuck are you going to be a gangster in a state, say, like Nebraska? Wouldn't you be like all hardcore about your crop? Just in there, yo, shit was crazy, you know what I'm saying? Motherfucking corn wasn't wrong. Motherfucking scarecrow was tipping over and shit, you know what I'm saying, son? I just want to be like, dude, you're white. Go to the Gap, give into it. Buy some Dockers, and come home.
I've been going to gun stores, and
Oh my God!
and these rednecks are all telling me the same thing because I didn't grow up with guns. So they're just going, all right, you never had a gun, you want to get yourself a shotgun. It's got a great spread. That's what they keep saying. It's got a great spread. You don't even got to aim. You got a problem, you just sort of whip around. You get the guy, right? I'm sitting there, I'm like, dude, I just want to shoot the guy. I don't have to do like a bunch of drywall work and like reframe my diploma. So
again. Why can't Mom make dinner?
Ask her. She's the one who abandoned her post. Now after doing all the lady work, I got to leave to go do some man work. And is anybody going to get me flowers and tell me I'm beautiful? No. No one's out there marching for old Frank Murphy. He just watches the sands of his miserable life gather at his feet while his wife, the modern woman, throws on a pantsuit every morning and just... There's my worker bee.
What is your go-to dance move when challenged?
waiting for the director to say cut.
That was my go-to dance.
Well, I'll tell you, when I saw my kid, it wasn't, I didn't have, like, everyone was like, you're going to burst down crying, you're going to blah, blah, blah. I was, like, scared of it. Like, I was just sitting there like, hey, yeah, buddy, like, I didn't want to touch it. And then, like, afterwards, they give it to me, and I'm hanging with her for the first time, and I'm feeling nothing. And I literally put my head down on the bassinet. I'm going, oh, my God, I'm a serial killer. Like, I don't feel things.
Fool yourself because I was, like, Googling the show.
No, God knows.
I was Googling the show.
I get trashed enough on Twitter. Do you know when I did the show last night? This is how, like the millennials are, right? Somebody, I was wearing this exact same thing. You know, I'm on the road, so I got a nice stain on my shirt. So I was wearing this exact same thing. I go on Twitter, and somebody wrote, you know, Bill Burr last night dressed like an out-of-shape Jerry Seinfeld.
What?
So, like... Yeah, I wrote back. I can't say what I wrote back. I wrote back.
You did?
So and so. Yeah, it's like, why don't you heckle me when you're there?
Well, this is what my girlfriend did one night when I was driving home. This is how much they manipulate, or as I call it, lie, to get what they want. I was driving home, and I was looking at this there was this diner. And I was driving home, and it was late at night. I was like, hey, I'm going to stop there. I'm going to get one of those milkshakes. And you were just like, oh, my God.
I hate when you do that generic female voice.
Fuck you, it's hilarious. Let's not forget, at the end of the day, my job is to make those people laugh. Okay, Nia, you don't understand. These people work hard all week. These were Americans. They need to come out and forget about their problems. No, whatever. I don't have, what am I, Mel Blanc? I got one fucking voice. I do. Nice reference. Yeah, I watch cartoons. Really? Is that all it takes to impress you on a first date? That's how you ended up with me. He knows who does the voice of Bugs Bunny. This guy's a keeper. I think this guy will be able to provide.
Have you ever told that story?
What?
The first night that we ever hung out.
When I hooked up? We'll save that for another one.
Okay.
But you gotta tell me, huh? You had to be impressed with my skills.
Yeah. Well, yes.
You see that? They just won't give it up. This guy was fucking cock blocking me on an Olympic level. He saw I was going to hook up. He actually tried to split a cab with you.
Yeah, I know.
On the way home, and I got around that.
Yeah.
Got around that. What happened? I fucking put the cards. I went all in, just like World Series of Poker. I went all fucking in. She was trying to be all coy with the little Sammy Davis Jr. hat on, trying to play all hard to get. Huh? Thinking you were dealing with the sophomore in fucking college, like I didn't have any fucking lines?
All right.
Yeah. When that douchebag kept coming over, cock blocking me, he invited, we were all set. I was hanging out. I'm going to tell you right now. We were hanging out, right? Me and this other dude. And all of a sudden, Nia shows up, right? And I can see the vibe. I see the look on her face. I know she wants it. No. I don't know. I just,
And we had met before. So.
Shut up. You look great. You came up, you had a nice big smile, and you're being flirtatious, and I immediately liked you, right? So you went to the bathroom. You're with a friend. I'm with a friend. Every guy knows what you're supposed to do. Take that fucking battle axe out of the picture. Okay? Take one for the team. I can't remember who the fuck you're with, so if it's one of your friends, I apologize.
Yeah, not a battle axe.
Whatever. All right. A war memorial. So what is this fucking... He goes the opposite route. I said, you went to the bathroom. I said, listen, I'm really doing well with this girl, all right? So, dude, I had to like... He was like a chick.
Be your wingman is what
No, I had to be like, so if I'm not paying attention to you, don't get upset. This is how, like, female this dude was, right? So I fucking... This is what he ends up doing, okay? The fucking guy ends up, as we're going to leave, you know, I'm thinking, okay, he's going to try to peel off with your girl who's not a battle axe, and he just goes, he invites another dude over and goes, hey, you guys all want to get something to eat? Remember?
Yeah.
And remember? And he invited us over. Now we're sitting there. It's me, you, your not so battle axe friends, and 3 other fucking cocks are sitting there, and I'm trying to hit on you.
Yeah.
And he keeps jumping in. And then he goes, hey, Nia, where do you live? Oh, I live up that way. You want to split a cab?
Right.
Remember that?
I do. And I had to be like, no.
No, you didn't. It was over at that point. I made the move. Remember that? I said, are you at least... before he fucking said that shit. He was doing everything. I remember I didn't have any cash, and I pulled out my credit card. I said, you guys just give me the cash or just put it on my credit card. And he goes, oh, he's just trying to get the miles. Remember that? Anything he could do to make me look like a shithead.
You paid for the whole thing. I thought you were like, bam, I'm paying for the whole meal.
No,
everyone gave
No, they gave me money because I didn't have any cash.
You paid for mine.
This is how I got you.
That's what
Which you were sitting there, and I said, look, are we at least going to be able to split a cab? Because I wanted to go over and have a drink with you.
Right.
And I was like, at least we able to split a cab. And then you're like, why? Why do you want to split a cab? Just putting up the roadblock? And that's when I went all in. I said, because I want to kiss you. Bam. Right.
Yeah.
And then that was it. I didn't fucking talk to you after that. Yeah, you sat there with that little stunned look on your face. Then what happened? Then we walked outside.
Really,
Then we walked out. That was the shit. That was one of the greatest. I used to, the fucking guys like that used to always get me. I fucking nailed that. Stuck the landing. Like a male Mary Lou Retton. And you know what the best part was? Then I stood up. And at that point I was like, fuck it. I said what I wanted to do. All this shit is in. I don't need to talk to her anymore. And I sort of peeled off, right? And then everybody got up to leave, and then you kind of tucked me on the shoulder and said, don't worry. You said, like, don't worry, we're going to split a cab uptown. And then I'm like, oh, this is going to be great, because now I'm in, and now I'm going to get to watch that little fucking cock block get his balls knocked on the fucking sidewalk. And that's what happened. He came out, right? He clapped his hands. Remember that? Came out just like this. And he was just like, so, you guys ready to go? Yeah. And you were like, yeah, actually, we're taking a cab. And he was so in cock block mode, he still didn't know. He's like, no, I live right near you. Yeah. And you were like, listen, we're taking a cab, and we're going uptown. And you leaned over and you said it, and then that's when he realized that everyone realized he was a cock blocking douche. And then what did he do? He goes, oh, yeah, I mean, yeah. He just fucking peeled off.
Yeah.
Huh? Then what happened?
We can't talk about that.
My other fucking classic line? Boy, I fucking reeled you in was a masterpiece. Fucking masterpiece. Then we got in the cab, and you said, I thought you were going to kiss me. And we fucking driving like a maniac, and I go, I can't. The cab's jumping around too much. I go, I'll kiss you at the first red light.
You're just really trying to,
right?
Drag it out. You were trying to make this whole,
I was fucking seducing you, and it worked. Right? Then we hit the fucking red light.
Yeah.
I put one on you.
You did.
Bam. Right? Mm-hmm. Couldn't feel your fucking feet. I'm going to make this story last 9 hours long. And then you know what happened? Then I sat back and I was playing Mr. fucking Cool again like I'm fucking Walt Frazier in 1972. Oh, the callback to the Knicks from an hour ago, right? Then what happened? We stopped again, and I'm sitting there looking out the window, and you go, it's another red light, right? And then we heard that cheesy saxophone from every fucking sexy movie in the 80s. Right? And then you were going, I'm not going home with you. I'm not going home with you. Now, whenever they say that, guys, you know they're not going home with you. You know that shit. So what you have to do is you have to constantly make them feel like it's safe and they're in control. So before you said you weren't going home with me, I felt your vibe. I knew the deal. So I just said, listen, I know we're not going home together, but I'm really having a good time with you. I'd like to have another drink with you. All right? I know a nice bar. Ba, 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 and bam. Right?
And I did not go home with
you. You didn't go home with me. We had like fucking 8 more drinks and made out for like the next 5 hours in that fucking Hell's Kitchen bar. Had a great time. Yeah. There you go. Yeah. So there's a little story, people. There's your little back. Paula Deen might be like next door. That's a very strange situation she's in right now. Now that the hammer came down. Because now it's like, all right, the executive's got to be like, all right, what is the... Because she's basically like a $100 million whale just sitting there. No, that's not a fat joke. That's a gambling thing. All right? Get
not
your
a
mind.
fat joke.
Yeah,
that's a
not
gambling
a fat
joke.
I mean, like, she'll make you $100 million. And she's just sitting there on the beach, right? And they got to figure out what is the acceptable amount of time.
Yes.
After somebody drops the N-word or admits to it that you can bring them back on TV to make cookies.
Yeah.
That's what it is. So you're saying she's going to be back.
You're saying she's coming back.
She's making... Dude, Dog the Bounty Hunter. I looked it up. 3 months.
3 months.
He got a 3-month suspension. And within 3 months, he was back on TV. And some of the guys he was chasing were African-American. And nobody had a problem with it. So really weird situation.
So what you're saying is they catch someone in one of these situations. They say, oh, my God, I'm so sorry. Everybody says we want nothing more to do with you. And then the clock is running.
No, first what happens is you get caught. And then you have the people who are, like, professionally, like, outraged. You know, those people who get on. They can't even get it out. What kind of person who? I mean, this is just blah, 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 right? They do that for like 3 days. And then you have to cry and be, I don't know what I was doing. Try to make some cockamamie story up that you're not a psycho. And then you just sit there and you wait for the phone to ring because you know you can make people money. That's all it's about. Like, they should just have a channel for people who screw up, and you just put them on that, right? Because I don't understand firing somebody like that's going to make them, like, somehow help the problem. Like that dude on ESPN, he said that stuff against gay people, so then he gets fired. How does that help his homophobia? Right. Now you put him out on the street, right? He's out there drinking booze, you know? He's probably saying even more homophobic stuff, and everybody's coming by. You know? Just put him on a channel, like the Disgrace channel or something, right? You know? You could have, like... And it's like you're in, like, the penalty box, and you just stay there.
Yeah. You know what's hilarious about sexual assault? You know what's hilarious about it? Is how women are acting like that is a uniquely female experience. You know what's funny? I actually, to the letter of the fucking law, within the last 2.5 years, got sexually assaulted in this business by a woman. Yeah. And this is my story! I feel like I can live my truth and be brave tonight and share this with you. It's a 100% true fucking story. I was doing stand-up. I was doing a private gig, all right? Private gigs are the fucking worst. You do a public gig, anybody can show up. It broadens what you can talk about, right? You do a private gig, it's like everybody grew up on the same fucking streets. All your jokes gotta go right down fucking Main Street or you're bombing. So all you do is listen to the first comic to hear what's working and what isn't. You just listen to him as he's up there struggling, going, okay, they like bread. Talk about bread. Get all the bread you can. Don't make fun of the troops. Stay away from the troops, right? So that's what we're doing, right? And the host gets him going, and then he brings up the first act. Okay, she goes on stage. She's not really a comedian, more of a personality. She does her bullshit or whatever, and I'm standing there looking at my jokes, figuring out what I'm doing. She wraps it up. He goes on stage. She goes to get off. I'm thinking, okay, I'm next. I'm looking at my stuff, and she just walks right by me and just fucking, pooh, just flicked me right in the head of my dick and kept walking. Like it was nothing. Just fucking pow, and just kept... I couldn't fucking believe it. I know what you're thinking. You're like, oh, is this a friend of yours? Was she flirting with you? Was this a joke? None of the above. You know what it was? I swear to God, it was like a bully vibe. Like she was trying to get in my head. Like, there you go, you little red dick. Poof, follow that. And she just kept walking. Dude, my first thought as I saw her walking away, I just wanted to punch her in the back of the head as hard as humanly possible. Like literally make her leave her shoes, you know? But the other side of my brain's like, oh no, dude, you can't do that. You can't do that, it's a woman. And it's just spitball. Well, fucking put her in the ass then. Put her in the ass. Can't hit her, dude. Can't hit her, it's a woman. Well, fucking tell somebody. Tell somebody. And all I'm thinking is like, dude, I'm a guy. Can't fucking tell anybody. Nobody gives a shit what happens to a guy. I'm gonna walk up to another man and be like, excuse me, sir, but she just flicked me in my pee-pee and I didn't like that one bit. No, sir, I didn't like that at all. No, I didn't. All the guy's gonna be like, dude, if she did that to me, I would've taken my balls out too. Be like, hey, fucking flick both of these fucking sports bar up top, Super Bowl, hey, right? That's all I would've got, right? So now I'm standing there, I'm waiting to go on stage, the dude's doing my intro, I'm trying to think about jokes about bread, and the tip of my dick is still stinging. This is the world I'm in. And right as he's gonna bring me on, all of a sudden she came walking out, because she was gonna go back out to her fucking car, and that's when my brain started firing up again with some ideas. Started thinking shit that I had never thought before in my life, going like, dude, there she is. There she is. Flick her in the box. Do it, man. Equal rights. She did it to you. You do it back to her. It started making sense. Like, yeah, fuck that. Flick my dick. I'm gonna flick your clit. That's right. I'll fucking hit the man in the boat. I'm drop down, uppercut to the bush. Fuck this shit. Think I'm the kind of person who just can flick my dick and walk away like it ain't shit, right? And it was making sense till right when she got there. Finally, I just started thinking of all the sporting events I had watched. And I realized that the referee only sees the retaliation. He never sees the first aggression. And then you have to go to the yellow card, whatever the fuck you people do over here, right? You go to the penalty box. So I let her go, and I went out on stage. I did my shit. But here was the thing. For the next 3 fucking days, I'm driving around LA, and I'm losing my fucking mind. You know, I'm fucking screaming at the windshield, saying all this shit that I wanted to say, but didn't say it in the moment, you know? And it wasn't because, this is the thing, it wasn't because she touched me, you know what I mean? I don't give a fuck about that, all right? You know, when I was a kid, I had a paper route and I was an altar boy, you know? Yeah. You're gonna have to do a little bit better than flick my dick over my jeans and my underwear. It's like, are we gonna do this or what? Like, what is happening here? It's the fact that she thought she could bully me. So after like fucking 3 days of this shit, I had a splitting headache, and I started realizing, like, wait a minute, she's winning this thing. You know, here I am, still thinking about this shit. She's probably gone on to like, I don't know, flick 30 to 40 dicks since she's been with me. Right? She doesn't give a fuck about me. So you know what I did? I drove home to my house, there was nobody home. I went upstairs, I closed the door, and I just sat down and I meditated on it, and I just forgave her. I did. I just pictured her as a little 5-year-old girl crying because her alcoholic dad, you know, wouldn't hug her or something. And she's just standing there crying like, but Daddy, I love you. He's like, get away from me. I never wanted children. And then he walked through a screen door and he like face planted into this above ground pool. And he had a tool belt on. And it just sort of pulled him under. And she ran out, she grabbed his foot, and she was pulling and his boot came off, and she sat down, and she just watched him slowly drown. I don't know what happened after that. I just felt like this weight lift off of my chest. So there you go, all you tough guys over here in England. Don't be afraid to meditate, man. I'm telling you. You can let a lot of stuff go. I don't know. Do you know, I'm all right with silence. You don't have to feel like you have to do anything fucking extra. Just relax. If it's funny, fucking laugh. If it isn't, just fucking sit there, and I'll know it's time to move on. So anyways, I'm a married man with a kid. Happily married man. Yes, I am. I love my wife to death. I love everything about being fucking married, but I'll tell you this right now. We do fight a lot. We do argue all the time. If I've learned anything in 5 years of being married is we're always working on me. You know? Evidently, my wife is this completed work under museum glass that is to be admired and studied. Like, how did she do that? And I'm like one of these guys, you know those buildings that just has scaffolding around it for like 6 straight years? And you're like, are they ever gonna finish that thing? Is that some sort of insurance shop? Jesus Christ, what a piece of shit. You should just tear it down and start over again. Yeah. I have a temper. So that's the thing. That's what kind of ruins things. Everything else I do is fine, but I have a fucking temper, and it just ruins shit. And then my wife always says the same thing. She's always just like, I just don't understand. Where did that come from? Where is that coming from? It's you just go from 0 to 100 in 2 seconds. It's like, first of all, I idle at 75 miles an hour. All right? So don't give me this 0 to 100. I walked into this restaurant at 75. I could hear that guy talking too loud on his cell phone from the fucking parking lot. Yeah, I fucking tried all of this shit, you know. Whenever she says that to me, though, I swear to God, I just don't understand. Where is this coming from? It actually hurts my feelings when she says that, you know? Because it makes me feel like she's not listening to me. It's like, honey, how many childhood stories do I have to tell you before you follow the breadcrumbs to the absolute lunatic that you married? Didn't you ever take a psychology class? I'm not that complex. Like, I'll tell you guys a quick childhood story. I'll tell you one of the funnier ones, right? One time, when I was like 6, my older brother was 8. We were in the back seat of my dad's car, and we were like laughing, and we were excited because it was around Christmas, right? And my dad just had this thing. He just didn't like joy, you know? So he's sitting there driving. He's going like, Jesus Christ, knock it off back there! Christ, you're giggling like a couple little schoolgirls! Christ, you don't straighten up, I'm gonna buy you a doll for Christmas! And then he did. I swear to God, he made us hold him up. My mother's taking pictures in front of the Christmas tree. I'm just standing there like, Afterwards, I ran upstairs to my top bunk. And my dad knew he fucked up, to his credit. He came up, he tried to smooth it over. He's like, all right, come on back down. It's over. Come on down, enjoy the holiday. And I'm like, God, I don't want to eat this. I fucking hate you. Right? He eventually coaxed me down, you know. He softened up a little bit. Look, you don't get your fucking ass back downstairs. No one else can open that gift. I'm moving out. I said moving out. I go back downstairs all shell-shocked. Here's another gift for you, Billy. I'm like, is this a fucking dollhouse? When does it end? Yeah, that was Christmas, and those were people that loved me. I just don't understand. Where is this coming from? I just don't understand.
We're laughing already because here in the Cayman Islands interview lounge because comedian Bill Burr has stopped by this morning. Bill, thanks for coming to the Cayman Kind studio.
Oh, thank you for having me in the Cayman Island Memorial Studios.
That's what it is.
Something like that.
And we're glad to have you. You got a busy week. We're just looking at your schedule. You're going to be on Fallon and Conan, right, this week?
I'm Media Boy this week. I got a new animated show, or a cartoon, as I still call it, coming out on Netflix called F is for Family. 6 episodes. It's about this family, the Murphy family. It takes place in 1973, and it's the 70s as far as how Mike Price, one of the co-creators of the show, how we remember it.
And your voice of the dad.
I'm the voice of the dad, who's an amalgam of my dad, Mike's dad, and everybody else in the writer's room. It's basically, we set it back where in that time where you could, kids today, they wear helmets when they ride bicycles, they have play dates and all that, and back then they just set you outside, like, get out of here, let's go outside. Yeah, you could literally bring a gun to the airport back then if you had your briefcase. As long as you didn't wave it around, it was fine. It was just like a different time, and I just throughout my career I've been telling like family stories on stage, and they always did well. And then somewhere about 8 years ago, as that play date generation came of age, it started getting like, not groans, like simply like, oh, like started going like that, even though that they had dads like my dad.
Right.
Like that dad still exists and mom still exists, but now it's like socially this whole, oh, that's bullying, oh, that's traumatic for the kid, and it just became like this overly thinking things. And so I just got frustrated and I stopped telling the stories, but I knew they were still funny. And one day I was walking my dog, I was like, what if I just animated them? And I just was going to do these little 5-minute vignettes on my website, like, Burr family goes to get a Christmas tree, and then all the dysfunction. And of course, being a comedian, I procrastinated, and I never did it. So then one day I had a meeting with Vince Vaughn's company, Wild West, and I just sort of just threw it out there, and they were looking to do the show. Then we got in business with Netflix, and Netflix came up with the brilliant idea to serialize it, which I didn't know means have one episode leading to the next one,
Right.
which really took the writing to another level. And then here we are, 4 years later.
Is it? Yeah. No, I mean, we had a chance to watch it today. First of all, it's called F is for Family, but probably not for the family. It's an adult version.
Well, it's not for
adult
kids.
show. Right, not for kids.
Yeah, but families will totally be able to relate to this. If you want to go in,
understand,
yeah,
yes.
if you had any sort of, I don't know, family that I grew up in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, how close is it to your family? Like, how many kids did you grow up with?
Oh no, it's we had 6 kids. So
Okay.
There's only 3 kids. I mean, you're not gonna have 6 different kids in drama. It's not like
it's hard
Top
to
Cat
drama.
where you can have 20 cats running around. It becomes a pain in the butt. So you just sort of like I took
It's a lot of
pieces, pieces of all. Just pieces from my life. Every writer. What I like about it is my family can watch it and not be like, oh my God, you put all our dirty laundry
Right.
out there. But they will see elements and hints and stuff like that. And sometimes it's just a 10-speed bicycle. Other times it's like a catchphrase. Like my dad saying, I'll put you through that bleeping wall was something that he used to say. And
You can't say that now. Dads can't say
Yeah,
that.
you can.
You can?
Yeah, you can do all of that stuff.
Turn me
Like,
in.
there's this whole Chicken Little, the sky is falling, and that people believe you can't say things. Like that stuff you were talking about, like the polar bear with the
Yeah, the
scarf.
Starbucks cookie.
It's the Starbucks polar
Yeah,
bear
that is
cookie,
one of
yeah.
the biggest non-stories I've ever heard in
Yeah,
my life.
yeah,
Like
it
it is. Its throat's flashed. No, it's a scarf. We screwed it up. It's supposed to be a scarf. Oh, okay. That's
It's a
what it
huge
should
story.
be. It's supposed to be everybody flipping out.
Right.
Half of those people flipping out about the polar bear. You know they have iPads and flat screen TVs that all end up in the ocean,
Right,
which
right.
is why those polar bears are drowning.
That's why, yeah.
But you're not going to adjust that part of your life, but you're going to bitch about the cookie.
Right.
Yes.
But
Yes.
but F is for Family. When is it available on Netflix?
December 18th.
Okay.
You can binge watch all of them.
Binge watch. They're all there's
So it took us over a year to draw and do all that. And
Well, that's what people do now.
You can watch it all in about
That's
2
what we're
hours,
gonna
40
do.
minutes, and be like, "Hey, when's the next 6 coming out?" But I'm really proud of it. It's not just like we can curse on the show, which we
Yeah.
obviously.
That's what I
we
meant by
do.
saying for the kids.
Yeah, but there's still a lot of we still. There's that baby you're the greatest moment in the end, like when it always
Right.
came back. And I just remember with
Right.
my family, we're going to get a Christmas tree, and there'd be all this traumatic dysfunction of
Yeah.
trying to get the army of kids and everybody into the car and having the whole thing
Station
work.
wagon. Right.
Yeah, and then, but then in the end, the fire's going, you're decorating the tree.
And it all works
Yeah,
out.
and everything settles, the dust settles
Yeah, it's all
back
good.
down again. Yeah, it was very.
No, the show's great, and we really enjoyed it. And it's funny, and it does have that that honeymooners kind of like you said, baby,
That
you're
element,
great.
yeah.
Yeah.
But it's a really cool to watch it because to me it's a period piece. I grew up in the '70s, phone on the wall, like you said, the Stingray's a 10-speed bike, so it's going to be fun. And I think even for a younger generation to look back and go, wow, that was probably a cool time to grow up.
But also, I think a lot of them can also relate to the same stuff. I mean, we're going to have, kids wanting, taking out the family car, kids trying to hook up, and...
You got some big stars, some big voice stars.
Oh,
Laura
yeah,
Dern,
yeah.
right?
Laura Dern does the voice of Susan, Frank's wife, the character that I play. Justin Long does Kevin. Haley Reinhardt from American Idol does the voice of me, Little Me, I should say.
Oh, is that right?
Debbie Derryberry, if you watch any Pixar movie, she's probably in all over it. Gary Cole, Dave Koechner.
I mean, it's a big name.
Sam
How does that
Rockwell.
happen?
Mm-hmm.
Like, how do you get these people
You know
on
what?
board
We
for
wrote a
that?
great script.
Right.
That's what happened. We wrote a really funny script, and then I forget who signed on first. But once you bring one of them in
Right.
the boat, then all of a sudden it becomes, oh, this is a real thing. And it was probably the most exciting thing was getting people that I have all that respect for
Right.
to actually react to what we all wrote. And, we had a great writers room, Dave Richardson, Emily Towers, Tom Giannis, and I just remember laughing the whole time. I mean, there's obviously, it's always hard when you first start an episode, just getting the rock moving up the hill. But once you got that first draft and after the second punch up, that's when it really got fun. And that's when you could really tighten it up
and really.
How many episodes?
There's 6.
Okay.
So they kind of gave us
So you
6
got
just
the
to
group.
see how it does, and how it works at Netflix is they put the whole thing out at once, and then if people respond to it, then they just do an order of the second season. So when that's going to happen, I don't know how soon.
You need
that
views,
happens,
right? I
so-
mean, that's
I'm sure.
yeah, that's how it
Yes.
works, right? With,
And we're also coming out the same day as Star Wars. So
Oh.
I'm hoping,
that's right. You can't get tickets to Star Wars, so
yeah,
This is, if you have
maybe people
Netflix.
will watch. People telling me I'm going to watch while I stand in line for Star Wars.
Yeah,
and
just
I'm
do
going to
that.
binge
Sleep
watch
out
this
overnight.
stuff.
But that's what people do now. Like, Christine is, got me into Walking Dead, and
Oh,
that's
yeah.
how you guys watch it. Just
Binge watching.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Oh,
watched
yeah.
Bloodline, and I
Oh,
watched
yes.
Peaky Blinders. I'm watching Fargo. And,
It's
I
too
just-
easy. I mean, because
Yeah.
the next one just rolls and rolls, and you
Yeah, next thing you
can't
know,
get
it's
off
4
the
in the
couch,
morning.
right?
And you're like, oh my God, I got to do radio here.
Just want to see what happens in the next episode. Okay, I'm watching another hour. And then it goes and it goes. But I mean, Netflix is such a great venue. They've got, I think, the most Golden Globe nominations.
Oh,
It's
is
like,
that right?
Yeah. It's
Are they not
like the
afraid
place
to
be.
be not politically correct? Because I mean, in parts of the show, there was like, "Wow, you."
Oh no, yeah, the
you know what I'm
networks their notes were basically push it further. It was the dream.
Wow.
But that whole political correctness, it's just, I swear to God.
That's your hot button, Bill.
No, it's like, it isn't though. It's just like people are adults. They understand. Look, if animated characters can destroy all of your parenting in 6 episodes, you're like the worst parent ever.
You're the worst parent.
Yeah, or there's something wrong with your kid. He was just born with the Damien seed or whatever. It's just
it was refreshing to see that you do those things because, ironically, and I think maybe that was the inspiration for it too, is that's what you got away with in the 70s. You couldn't do Archie Bunker now. Maybe you could do
you
it.
totally could if the networks
You could
and
be
the advertisers could just stand up to these, like so many of these groups, they're just bullies and they deliberately take things out of context. Look, I'm a believer that if you're wrong, you apologize. But you don't let somebody, if they take something out of, like that stupid polar bear.
Yeah.
It's like, no, it's a scarf.
Yeah.
It's a scarf.
Yeah.
So now I have to apologize because you think we, like, what kind of a dope thinks that Starbucks is going to have a bear with a slit throat in the holidays?
Yeah.
Like they sat around and have, that's what we're going to do. We have polar bears with its throat cut.
Wait a minute, do we know?
This will drum up business and then I think
Have they
it's also.
apologized yet? Do we know? Because they
No,
probably
no.
they haven't apologized yet.
they're gonna
But
work
I think it becomes like clickbait. It's
Right.
really lazy journalism, and it's an easy thing. I swear to God, like comedians get more blowback than bankers, who depleted the savings of people who fought in wars for this country, and they're eating Alpo now, sitting in some old folks' home instead of their house that they should have had. And those guys, none of them go to jail. But God forbid you tell a joke in a strip mall that somebody and one person out of like 400 doesn't like it, and that becomes the story. And they write a blog about it, and they treat the blogger like they won like a Peabody Award for the New York Times.
Right.
It's just some dope in the crowd who sat there and watched 100 subjects go by, and everything was funny, and then it came to their part of their life, and that was a statement.
Yeah.
He meant that one.
It struck a nerve.
Yeah, they're babies.
Have
They're
you,
babies, and if you just stand up to them, they're bullies.
Have you changed up your stand-up at all? Because
No.
you said you felt it happen. Like you felt this change about 8 years ago, and a lot, Jerry Seinfeld, a lot of comedians have addressed this.
I never felt it in the club. I just saw people's I just saw how it worked. And I have a podcast network. Okay,
Plug it.
The All Things Comedy Network. And when we have a friend of ours has a special coming out, we go, okay, we're all tweeting in 3, 2, 1, and there's 400-500 of us, and we all tweet, and it gets momentum. That's 500 people in a country of over 400 million can get momentum on social media with 500 tweets at the same time. So when they sit there and they act like the sky is falling and everybody's freaking out, it's strategic. How you get offended.
Right.
Like, they're on, T minus, we're going to be offended. And T minus, and.
Well, I know, go back to Seinfeld, he won't do colleges anymore. At least that's what I've heard, because it's so PC that
I don't know that he won't do
offended.
colleges. I saw that interview. I think he was making, and that was another thing. He just basically said what was out there. And then even that was like, is he thinking about retiring? And even then they blew that up.
Right.
It's just constantly, I think because there's so many places to watch and listen to things now, if there's any ripple, you have to make it look like, oh my God, what is this?
Right.
And try to like just pumping everything up and making a story even when there isn't one there. So
It's a cartoon. It's adult humor. There's adults.
It's fun.
Nothing bad is going to happen.
Yeah.
ISIS doesn't get stronger. Just relax. Just sit down and watch it. If you don't like it, don't watch it. If you do, watch it.
Binge it if you do binge.
Yeah,
it's
that's it.
fun. It's F is for family, and again, it's available December 18th on Netflix. And
Yes.
you know, and again, you
Now,
can visit.
depending on the fact that I know you have mature adults listening to this, and they'll be able to understand.
They'll love it. They'll love it because the most
we'll have a good time.
Most of them grew up in the 70s. It's going to be a homecoming thing.
There you go.
Bill, thanks for coming in.
Hey, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Bill Burr in the studio, everybody.